What happened last night? So apparently 3,000 people have left Hungary. What's about this row between the Hungarian government and the Austrian government? So at least tiny conflict tensions. What made the Hungarian government decide to now send the 3,000 refugees to Austria?
Well, what has been happening in Hungary since last night is a consequence of two things. First, a failed migration policy of the European Union, and the second one is the series of some irresponsible statements made by European politicians. So what has been happening in Hungary since last night is a consequence of these two things. Actually, people, refugees and migrants who have been stuck in Hungary became more and more aggressive, refusing the cooperation with the Hungarian authorities, not willing to be registered, not willing to be fingerprinted, not willing to be photographed. They have refused to go into the refugee stations where the basic supply would have been ensured for them. According to the current European regulation, you as a member state, as a government, do not have any kind of possibility to force them to go to the refugee stations. What happened? They started to march at the most important highway of the country and the most important railway line of the country. So an emergency situation has occurred. That's why we have decided to send buses and then deliver them to the Austrian border where they wanted to go. And I would like to tell you that these issues are strengthening what we have said before, that effective defense and effective protection of the external borders of the European Union is very important. So that's why Hungarian government, Hungarian parliament has made some changes in the recent days. First of all, if someone damages the fence at the Hungarian-Serbian border, and that's how illegally enters Hungary, commits a crime, according to the penal code, must be sentenced by prison or expulsion. And we have established transit zones along the Hungarian-Serbian border where there's a possibility for the migrants to submit the request for asylum, and there's a maximum length of 8 days within which final decision has to be made and to decide whether the applicant receives refugee status or does not. So Hungary will comply with the EU regulations in the future as well, Schengen, Dublin and the Frontex related regulations. That's what
there is a proposal from the Czech government. There's a proposal from
Sorry, first and then you. Okay, I promise I will stay, please.
There's a proposal from the Czech government to install a corridor between Hungary and Germany for the refugees. What do you think of that proposal?
Well, you know, there are regulations. Dublin regulation says that these applicants have to stay, migrants have to stay in the same country where they have submitted their request for asylum. Hungary tries to comply with this regulation at her best.
And the 3,000 just left, were they registered? Were they registered, the 3,000?
Yeah, we register all of them. Registered all of them. Sorry, I promised the lady, and then it comes to you, please. Well, we think that the number one priority in line is the effective protection, effective defense of the border. So what we expect, not to criticize us because of complying with the EU regulation, not to criticize us because of defending our border, because this is the number one issue. That what has been happening in Hungary since last night is a very, very clear proof for that. Please, last question. Well, everyone heard statements saying that there will be asylum procedures carried out regardless how the migrants reach some specific countries. You know, the thing is that European regulations speak very clearly. The procedure of asylum should be carried out in the country where it was submitted. And if such kind of statements can be misinterpreted by migrants and by traffickers, then cause such kind of situations. Thank you. Bye-bye, Vidashan.